You know what really grinds my gears? The amount of double standards we have in today's society and the people's inability to see them. I've seen double standards between all types of demographics. We have double standards between races, we have double standards between ages, and we have double standards between genders. I'm sorry, but this one always just cracks me up. We have Lizzo doing some kind of like photo shoot and it's empowering. But then when Rick Ross, or I think that's Rick Ross, chilling on the couch without a shirt on, put a shirt on, nigga. Some of these double standards do actually make sense, you know, like obviously a man and a woman are not the same. A younger person is not the same as an older person. They obviously have some differences there. And a black person is not the same as a white person. All right, let me try to rephrase that last one. That one sounded a little bit weird. See, exactly. That's my point. You know, it sounds weird when you say something like that, but if I were to say something like Mexicans are not the same as Arabs, now it sounds a little bit better, right? But there's just two different races on each example. That's exactly the kind of situation this guy went through.
Women are fucking racist, and a lot of times they don't know that they're racist. But I was talking to this girl on Hinge who happened to be Mexican. She asked what my ethnicity was. I said Arab. She said, oh, it's not going to work out. I said, why the fuck is it not going to work out? What the fuck happened? She said, Arabs and Mexicans make a toxic couple. I said, where the fuck did you get that idea? She said, have you ever been with a Mexican girl? I said, yeah, once. And then she said, how'd it go? I said, she shattered my heart. And then she said, yeah, see? And I was like, I don't think she shattered my heart because she was fucking Mexican. I think she shattered my heart because she was a terrible person, all on her own. Race fucking had nothing to do with it. And she said, no, I've had friends that have been with Arab guys and they now legit, I'm scared. This is what I said in response, because that's how it fucking sounded. I know I've said my fair share of things on the internet, right? But I've never once judged somebody based on race. You can't do that, right? Anybody with a gun can shoot you.
So this guy got turned down by a Mexican woman on the basis of him being Arab. And her reasoning behind this is because she's had some bad experiences with Arabs and her Latina friends have had bad experiences with Arabs. And he responds with this. I know some friends that got robbed by black guys. I'm legit scared. That's how you sound right now. To where she says, what the fuck? Not even. Maybe she's right. Maybe Latinas and Arabs do just make a toxic couple. And maybe, you know, if you got robbed by a bunch of black guys, maybe you should be scared of walking around black people at night. Okay, I'm kidding, but I wish some people would just stand on business when it comes to this. Like, okay, you think Arabs and Latinas make a bad couple, but could you say whites and blacks make bad couples? Could you, if a guy said he prefers not to date a black girl, are you going to stand on business and say he's allowed to have that preference?
Is it sexist for women to cross the street at night to avoid men? Why is the same not true for white people to cross the street to avoid black people? Is it not avoiding violence?
Both are for safety. Now, the white person crossing the street, their lack of a sense of safety is coming from things like scapegoating and propaganda that they've been fallen victim to.
And women avoiding men haven't fallen for some weird propaganda? Don't get me wrong, there are some weird men out there that women should definitely avoid, especially when walking down the street. But don't get me wrong, the same could go for black people. I don't mean to throw black people under the bus and just bring them up where they're not being brought up, but I mean, come on now, let's stand on business, you know, like both sides could be inflicted by propaganda, both sides are for safety, and both sides might have some reasoning for it. I feel like if you're in a weird neighborhood at night, regardless, you should be crossing the street when you see somebody on the other side. Whether you're a woman or a man, and whether the person on the other side is black or white or whatever.
Women crossing the street for safety is coming from either their personal lived experience or the lived experience of women around them.
I'm willing to bet that you already know what's coming after this. I haven't even heard what he said yet, but I can already tell you that she walked herself into this one.
Great. Okay, what's stopping a white person who's had a bad experience with a black person and then pointing to crime statistics, which do seem to indicate that black people per capita commit certain violent crimes more often than white people? From your perspective, your frame, your lens, what would actually be wrong with a white person from arriving at basically a racist position?
Nothing.
Well, hey, there, at least she stood on business here.
What'd you say?
Just go to my house and...
Are you okay?
No, I'm not okay.
I don't know him.
I'm not okay. I'm the baddest mother.
People from the looks maxing community were saying that if this guy was attractive, he would have succeeded in his goals, and I kind of disagree. The double standard that's presented here is that when an attractive man does an extremely strong cold approach like this, he would be successful. But since this guy is like the ultra chud, he then grosses her out. And I honestly kind of disagree. This is just not how people like do this. This is just not like normal in society. Like whether you're ugly, chud, attractive, or whatnot, you just don't go up to random strangers and open with, do you want to come back to my place? Let's I also saw this lighter that said, if you want to smile when you give me the lighter back. And if you're going around giving this lighter to random people, then yeah, that would probably be just as weird. I would say a little bit less weird, but still in the same realm as this Asian guy going around asking girls that. But I don't think this lighter is supposed to be given to random people. I mean, if you're already smoking with a girl, I'd assume that you'd already had some kind of relationship, friendship, so I don't know, some weird kind of situationship going on. But the same goes for this guy. Like, that is not something that you ask strangers at a gas station, man. That is just not where you do it.
Call the police on me.
Yeah, I will. What the fuck?
Yeah, let's go.
Who the fuck are
Let's
you?
go. And then you can call the police on me. For raping me or whatever.
You could just tell that this guy had some kind of weird ideology in his brain, like some incel looks max ideology where he's like, this must be how Chad gets laid, and if I was a Chad, this is just how it goes, so let's just go and try it out. And just like, dog, you need to be medicated. You know, funny enough, I saw a video of the streamer Sneeko dealing with this exact same situation, but with a woman.
Hey. I want to fuck him and he don't want to fuck me.
How you doing? She's following me around.
I'm trying to fuck him and he don't want to fuck me. Stop. This is 2025.
Do you mind if I just wanted to separate away from her? I don't know who this is.
This is bullshit with your red pill. This is
okay?
the
Can
red
I walk
pill.
inside so she doesn't follow me?
You're afraid of the black
okay?
woman's body.
Thank you.
Touch my titties. No, he can film. No, call the cops. Call the cops. We don't give a fuck. No, keep filming.
Why in both instances did the perpetrator, the aggressor, tell the people to call the cops on them? Now, where I do think the double standard applies is that this woman is now chasing after Sneeko after saying that she wanted to fuck him, and this is going down the streets of New York. If a man was chasing a woman down the streets of New York after saying that, I promise you a bystander would tackle him within at least a minute. I mean, for example, you have this woman half naked with her boobs out chasing after Sneeko saying, let's fuck, and he only is able to escape her after he gets into a taxi cab. And compare that to this. This guy goes up to a worker at what seems to be a cologne shop and asks if she's single.
I just thought you were like really pretty, honestly. Are you single?
I will call security. I'm being 100% serious.
So she says she's gonna call security, so the guy immediately starts to leave.
I'm calling security.
Wait, why?
Why are you out in public?
I've never seen somebody so scared for their safety that they call security by following the guy, and then her and more women follow him into a store to continue to talk to him about the issue. Mind you, this guy has already done everything in his power to de-escalate the situation. She says she's gonna call security, so he leaves. You could say he could just delete the video, but he doesn't have to, and you'll see at the end why.
Where's your parents?
My parents?
Your parents. Like,
I just took the bus here.
he said he's 15.
Your name?
My name?
Yeah.
I forgot, honestly.
Your name? It's gonna have to get deleted because they're not consenting to it.
I don't think they have to, though. Excuse me? I just saw you like from across the store. I thought you were really pretty. Are you single by chance? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, have a nice day.
You can't be asking people stuff.
What? Bro, how am I supposed to get a girlfriend if I can't talk to them?
Dude, do you not know the new strat that's going around? You don't ask them if they're single or tell them that they're really pretty. You just go up to them and ask them if they want to fuck. Also, I like how his question genuinely dumbfounded the security. How am I supposed to get a girlfriend if I can't talk to girls? And he's just like, oh shit, this guy actually, that is a good point.
We've come in and talked to you about this.
So let's go over the situation once more. There is 3 security guards for this one guy, And that girl also brought 2 other women as backup for her too. And you would think by now, okay, this is where it finally gets de-escalated, there's security involved, he's getting escorted out. No, they're still following him. At this point, they're the ones harassing him. I want to know, who is running that cologne shop now? I mean, she seemed to be the only employee that was in there. More importantly, it seems like these women are purposely trying to rile up the security to get a reaction out of this guy, maybe to escalate it even further. And you would think maybe this is where it finally ends, right? He's outside of the mall, he's walking to the bus station stop, he then gets confronted by one of the girl's boyfriends. So we had 2 girls, 3 security guards, a boyfriend leaving from work or home or whatever to come to his girlfriend's work, and it gets even worse, man, because the boyfriend is being followed by the police because he brought them here to talk to the guy. So we had 3 security guards, 2 girls, 1 boyfriend, and 2 police officers just to tell him that he's been trespassed because he asked a girl if she was single while recording. You would never see a man get the same treatment, and it'd be even less if the man was being harassed by a woman. I was gonna end it off, but security is still here for some reason, like, dog. And one of the reasons why I say that he didn't have to delete the footage is because the police got involved, asked him if he minds deleting it, which he says he does mind, and they all move on. And here now the video is out to the public. So if she really feels like this guy invaded her privacy and safety and whatnot, she can take it up to the courts. I mean, the double standard when it comes to male and female safety is insane. I mean, we've all seen those videos of a woman smacking up on a man, and then the one time the man stands up and turns around to face her, that's when everybody decides to get involved and whoa, bro, you're taking it too far. I think that's where the most double standards occur is between the 2 sexes. You have men and women, and they conflict pretty often. Being married is so cool. I'm over here playing with computers and my wife shows up with this mouth-watering meal. Wow, this is awesome. These people seem to have a pretty happy relationship. I can't wait to see what the miserable Twitter feminists have to say about this. Married men never seem to have anything to say about their wives beyond, look, free domestic labor. You would think a post like this would be like a stone being cast into the ocean and just be dispersed amongst the many things on the internet, right? No, this got 127,000 likes and 3.5 million views. So whether or not this was rage bait, it's pretty clear that a lot of people actually hold this same view. Now, I'd like to compare it to this reel, which is supposed to be a relatable reel about how men are dying to do something for their woman while they're busy gaming or doing something. I'm willing to bet you 127,000 men wouldn't agree with the opinion that this is just, oh, what are you treating him like your lapdog? He's not your slave. Why do these feminists believe that when a man does something for the woman, it's seen as the bare minimum, but when a woman does something for a man, it's so intensive that it should be seen almost as slave labor? And beyond the points of double standards, can a nigga not just be happy that his wife cooked a meal for him? I mean, he's showing his appreciation. I don't see the issue. Even the Bible says a man who can't provide shouldn't claim a woman. If God himself doesn't like broke men, why should you? I'm a Muslim, so the Christians in the comment section, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't there a Bible verse where Jesus says that it's harder for a rich man to get into heaven than it is for a camel to go through the eye of a needle? And of course he said that anything is possible with God, but before this he said that if you want to be perfect, go sell your possessions and give it to the poor. So technically a perfect man would have no possessions? I guess she's wrong. But I think one thing us Muslims and Christians can agree in today's society is that there's a lot of people that read the holy text, take a verse that favors them, and then throw the rest out. I mean, she's not exactly wrong. Yeah, you shouldn't be getting married unless, you're able to provide for your wife. But I'm also pretty sure that in the Bible, there's a lot of commandments for women that, who knows, maybe she follows, maybe she doesn't. But, point stands, you can't just take one thing and then throw the rest out. If you're gonna follow the Bible in its entirety. Also, when the Bible was being written, the idea of provide is literally the bare necessities. It doesn't mean luxuries. This doesn't mean that you need a man who takes you out to get your nails done every other day and spends $500 on this. It means a man that can provide you with shelter, food, and water. I promise you, a Michelin star restaurant is not what they meant by provide in the Bible. Biggest ick I see nobody talk about: men raging at video games or sports. How do y'all not leave? Like, what is he screaming for? If anybody has played games with a woman before, you would know that they be raging at the game probably more than men do. But yeah, I would admit, yeah, it is an ick when people rage at the game a little too much. I be complaining on the game sometimes. I don't be screaming, though. If you be screaming at the game and screaming at sports too, yeah, no, that I can see how that could be an ick for both a woman and a man. I feel like there's a lot of double standard in the whole my body, my choice, and the idea of parenthood. This guy made a TikTok about how his girl left him after she wanted an abortion, but he didn't let her. And this woman says, you forced her to have a child she wasn't ready to have, and then she left. Shocker. You aren't the superhero single dad you're making yourself out to be.
Do you think that men should have the right to opt out of fatherhood, since women have the right to opt out of motherhood? No.
Somebody from the crowd screaming, of course. That kind of gets me. It's funny to me because you know what he really wanted to say was something like, you got this stupid bitch. It reminds me of this one post this woman made where it was like, if women can't get abortions, then men can't be deadbeat dads. And it's like, are we trying to heal society here for once? Thank God. Anyways, back to this guy's TikTok. I want to make a point that whether you're pro-abortion or pro-life, this woman in the relationship made the worst choice possible. Think about it. There's 3 choices she could have made. She could have done the pro-life choice where she just had the baby and lived with the baby and helped raise the baby. She could have done the pro-abortion choice, which is just to leave the man and get the abortion anyways. But she chose the 3rd worst option where she gave birth and then left him. If you were going to get an abortion, you might as well just left him anyways and just done it. I mean, I'm not pro-abortion exactly, but no, women are like, no, this man is evil no matter what. As if the guy had a gun to her head and said, if you get this abortion, I'm going to shoot you and kill you. And when I mean the worst possible choice that she made, the worst possible choice, I'm not saying that she should have had an abortion. I'm saying from a pro-abortion standpoint, she did make the worst choice possible. She made the second best choice in reality. But what I'm trying to say is that this tweet defending that woman in the relationship, from this person that wrote the tweet's perspective, that woman still made the worst choice possible. And a lot of women are saying, well, what if men could get pregnant? What would happen then? What would society be doing then about the whole abortion case? And I'll be honest with you, if men could get pregnant, they'd probably just deal with it without complaining. You're talking about the gender that has been fighting wars since the dawn of time and dying for society. They would probably just deal with it. In fact, if men were the gender that was to get pregnant and give birth, there would be like a whole huge stigma around it, and giving birth would be seen as like the most masculine thing ever. And if you can't give birth, or if you don't give birth, you're seen as like some kind of femboy sissy pussy. Give me a second. Give me 1 second. I am just now realizing how dumb that just sounded. Not dumb because I'm wrong, but dumb because that was just so ironic. If you can't give birth, you are a pussy. What? Tell me I'm wrong, though. Tell me I'm wrong. I mean, if men could get pregnant, you would see alpha male influencers like Andrew Tate on his podcast saying shit like, I'm on my 15th child. I'm about to give birth to my 16th. If you don't have 10 children by now, you're a pussy. Also, women love saying my body, my choice until it's somebody else's body.
I would never circumcise my child.
I would.
Like, I would kill my husband if he wanted to circumcise. I would literally kill for my kid not to be. It's so fucked up.
I would get him circumcised.
Why?
Because one, I know so many guys with anteater dick, and they have dick cheese, they
just need to shower every day.
Yeah, but that's hard for some guys sometimes.
Okay, well, that's their fucking problem. I shower every day.
Well, I shower every day too, but dick cheese, prominent, so infection. Also, it looks weird.
It doesn't look weird.
That looks weird as hell.
It's so fucked up because the kids are like awake. Y'all, if you ever saw circumcision, you would never circumcise your child.
If you saw an abortion, you would never get one.
Ever. It's the most fucked up thing in the whole universe.
The whole universe? The absolute entire universe? I mean, I know she doesn't actually mean it, but like, that's kind of funny to think about. You heard it first. A baby that can't remember the first 3 years of its life, spending 5 seconds getting some loose skin chopped off of its wiener is the worst thing in the universe, meaning that she puts this over the Holocaust. If you're a circumcision doctor, you're worse than a rapist. You're worse than a murderer. Like, can we think before we speak? I mean, the worst thing in the universe, I'm sure she doesn't mean it, but like, what compels somebody to say that?
Like, I could never do that.
They don't even remember. I got circumcised. I don't even remember it.
Yeah, but it's like, you probably do. You just
I don't remember it.
You probably do, like, somewhere in your body, like, the trauma's trapped there.
I like how she completely just denies everything the man says on a topic about men. Like, you get dick cheese. It's unhygienic. You get infections. It doesn't even look that good. And you don't even remember it when you were a baby. And she just completely devalues all that. But if I spoke about abortion, oh, you don't have a uterus, you don't understand women, blah, 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 you have no opinion on this. I would just like a woman to see this, especially a Third Reich feminist, instead of defending the woman, just say, yeah, she needs to shut up, and you can shut up about abortion. I'd be like, fair game, I'm still gonna talk about it, but at least you're being consistent. Somehow a hot take, but men should not be allowed to say the B word, and I will die on this hill. No way we're making the word bitch a slur now that nobody but women can say. Maybe it's a hot take because you're policing what men can and can't do, and if a man were to do the same for women, all of a sudden they're controlling, insecure, and an incel. One thing I do agree upon with women when it comes to double standards on the gender is the promiscuity being celebrated in men and not being celebrated in women. I don't think it should be celebrated in either. And yes, there is a stigma around it where it's a lot easier if you took an average man and an average woman, 5 out of 10 on both sides, the woman would probably get laid 10 to 20 times more easily. So that's where it's kind of why it's celebrated for men and not so celebrated for women, because men are like it's an achievement. They're achieving something, whereas the women are giving away something. That's how society views it, and there is a bit of truth to that. But in all honesty, I think everybody should just be waiting till marriage. And that's where I disagree with the women, is because they're trying to like raise themselves up to the level of the men's standard, where I'm trying to drag the men down to the woman's standard. I think it's weird that there's a lot of dads out there that celebrate when their boy gets laid for the first time, but when their daughter gets laid for the first time, it's like, you're a whore, go to your room, and blah, blah, blah. I think there was some alpha male influencer or something that said something about how you need to sleep with 50 women before you're ready to settle down and be able to handle a woman. And I just think that's like the retardedest thing I've ever heard. And then these guys want to then marry a virgin lady who's never been with anybody, never even held hands with a guy. And it's like, that's not really how it works. You know, if every guy needs to sleep with 50 women before they settle down with a virgin, there's not going to be any virgin women left. I mean, at this point, you're just justifying you not being able to control your desires and trying to play it off as if there's some kind of ancient wisdom in your lust. And yeah, maybe if you sleep around, you might be able to understand how certain women operate, but that's not going to be the type of woman that they are actually going for. Like, you can't be like, I now understand how whores who throw away their body operate, so now I'm ready to marry a virgin wife. Like, that's not how the world works. Like, your settings are going to be set to how to deal with a promiscuous woman, when in reality, you'd be dealing with a virgin wife, and these same exact people will also admit that virgin women and promiscuous women have different psyches.
Women have a duty to keep the family intact as well. They're responsible for most of the divorces. They file for the most amount of divorces, not because of abuse, but because of irreconcilable differences. And when asked, I don't feel fulfilled.
Your wife has 3 baby daddies and has been married twice before.
Do you think this guy's wife, when she hears him talking about divorced women on the news, is like, yo, they stole my whole fucking flow, word for word, bar for bar? After this, he gets upset at the woman for bringing up his wife, but if your wife's divorces are defendable, then it should be easy to defend them. I mean, she had a fair point. You can't really be talking about divorced women on the internet when you're married to one.
You lick sniz.
Under your religion.
You lick sniz.
What does that
You're
mean?
a dyke. Don't talk about my wife, you stupid bitch. Shut your mouth. Shut your stupid bitch mouth.
I mean, it wouldn't be hard to just say, yeah, well, my wife's ex-husbands were both terrible people, but judging by his reaction, that might not be the case. And just to give the women one extra point, because I feel like I talked about them and bashed them a little too much in this video, just to give them one extra point, here's a guy holding up a sign saying, my wife is having a baby, but I choose to be here, roll tide, and it looks like he's at some kind of, I don't know, college sports game or some kind of sports game or something. And of course, a feminist is upset about this. And, you know, a broken clock is right twice a day. So yeah, I will admit, yeah, this guy is a dumbass. I mean, he's a retard. I don't know what else to say. This is just not, I don't think that's appropriate behavior. And to brag about it too, like, dog, I would be so embarrassed. And she says, yeah, could you imagine a woman holding up a similar sign about how her husband is in a life-threatening surgery, but she's over here doing something else? Yeah, that's fucked up, yeah. Man, that Dang, man, yeah. Okay, back to more women being retarded. If women can't wear makeup because it's considered fake, then men shouldn't be able to grow beards since that also fakes their looks. That would be the case if after puberty, women naturally grew makeup onto their face. I'm not even anti-makeup as long as the woman's not trying to, like, genetically morph her face with it. If it's just to touch it up, I'm fine with that, but like, dog, this is just a retarded take. Yeah, there's a lot of guys that use their beard to hide their chin insecurities, but like, too bad, that's how they naturally came. A lot of women also grow their hair out a certain way and style it a certain way to hide their head shape. Should they be forced to shave their head? Another double standard that's in today's society is the view of adult material being consumed by both genders. This dude's wife got into those smut novels that I made a video about a while ago, and now she just lost all her sex drive for him. And then this guy replies to him saying that this reminds me of a comedian who talked about how now that his wife is reading those novels, he got excited and was like, let's try those things you read in the novels. And she said, sure, if you can turn into a werewolf. How is this any different from those fat anime nerds who can only get an erection if they see an anime girl getting raped by tentacles? If a dude ruined his sexual relationship within marriage because he got addicted to anime tentacle hentai, he would have to commit Sudoku out of embarrassment. But when a woman does it, it's seen as like a comedic joke, something to joke about. If you like this, you must also be okay with this. Or we could just do what Monster Hunter does and have the girls wear proper armor that actually protects them.
Riot Games warned LCL's Rocks for banning 5 support champs in a single match. So
of all female against an all female team.
I gotta go.
So there was an all male team and the first all women pro team. And the all-male team purposely banned 5 support champions against a women's, and then they further destroyed these girls. They like completely ruined them. They stretched out the game and like pure BM. Just
so if you don't play League of Legends, allow me to explain this a little bit better for you. So there was an all-girls pro team that was against an all-male pro team. And each team gets 5 bans, and the male team used all 5 of their bans to ban just female support champions, which women that play the game are stereotypically known for playing the support role and getting carried on the support role. That's kind of how it is in like a lot of video games other than League of Legends. The male team then proceeded to absolutely dominate the female team. In fact, they prolonged the game just to torture them. And then of course the male team gets in trouble for this, but the real question is, why the fuck were these women playing against people that are out of their league anyways? Banning 5 support champions, you could say that's a taunt and a BM, but you could also say that because they banned 5 support champions, this actually gave the female team an advantage. They just wasted all 5 of their bans. So why was this woman's team even a team? Was it just because they were women, they just got to play in a professional setting, even though that they're not that good at the game?
Another girl won a dunk contest. So I'm watching the 2019 McDonald's High School Dunk Contest and come across a girl named Francesca Bellibi who did these 2 dunks to get 2 perfect scores in the first round. She then made it to the finals with Scotty Lewis and Precious Achua beating out players like James Wiseman, Cole Anthony, and Trey Mann. So in the finals, Achua's first dunk got him a 72, Scotty Lewis's first dunk got him a 79, and Bellibi's first dunk was a lob off the backboard that got a perfect score of 80. Oh, brother. Achua's second dunk put him at 152 total. Scotty Lewis lob off the side of the backboard, 360 dunk got him a 159 total. Francesca Bellibi needs a perfect score here to win the dunk contest, and her dunk was jumping over somebody sitting in a chair, makes the dunk. What do you know? She got a perfect score. Like, what are we doing here, man?
Why would they not just have a gender dunk contest where they lowered the goal for the women so they can do cooler dunks? I mean, this woman's doing basic dunks and was getting scored higher than men that were doing extravagant dunks. It feels like she's being scored off of her ability as a woman. Like, this woman, oh, that's impressive for a woman, but if a man did that, it's not that impressive. But since it's impressive for a woman, she gets scored differently. I mean, the one guy literally dunked over a standing person And that scored less than her dunking over a sitting person. How does that make any sense? Funny enough, this dunk contest and that League of Legends game both took place in 2019. What the fuck was going on in 2019 where they thought that women were the same as men? Okay, now on to the racial double standards. I saw a bunch of Jews abusing the welfare system here in America while having 7 to 12 kids and not even having a job while on welfare, but actually just studying religious texts.
That primarily speak Yiddish. Women have 7 kids on average. It's one of the fastest growing towns in America, with many men religiously studying the Torah full time and rely on state assistance and welfare programs to feed and house their massive families. How many kids do you have? 7. 7? How many kids per family?
10, 12, 14, 15.
Oof. I'm trying to figure out how you guys afford to have so many kids, though.
I'm struggling.
You're struggling?
Some of them are being supported by community members.
Yes. How do people afford to have such big families out here?
Same.
What do you mean? How long does the prayer last?
To go from 6 o'clock in the morning until the night.
When do they work if they're praying all day?
What race/religion would be able to do this in America without getting scrutinized? I wouldn't really consider myself right-wing, but I would definitely say I'm right-wing leaning. But a lot of right-wingers will make fun of blacks and other races and other religions for abusing the welfare system. But when it comes to Jews, oh no, they won't touch this. I mean, it's an entire community in New York abusing the system. And I've talked about black people abusing the system, and I'm gonna hold the Jews to the same standard. This is weird. Now, the last one is a triple standard. Dominican people, man. These people will look black, say they're not black, but then police people on the N-word and say the N-word. I'll say nigga, right? I have no problem saying it. I think everybody should be able to say it. But you have Dominican people who look black, are ethnically black, like at a DNA level. They come from Africa on a DNA level. They then say nigga, and then they try to police other people on saying nigga. Dominican people be like, me no black, papi. Me Dominican. Alright then, brother, give me your N-word pass then. Let's talk about some double standards when it comes to ages. I saw this video of this guy complaining about a cruise ship employee making fun of Charlie Kirk's death. And I bring this up because somebody in the comments said, who cares about Charlie Kirk? He was only famous for debating children. Children? I mean, you're talking about college age people. This is like ages 18 to like 25. I would argue those aren't children. I mean, the people Charlie Kirk was debating are voting age adults, and if he's having a political discussion with voting able adults, I don't really see the problem there. I mean, if you're too young to debate and defend your political beliefs, maybe you shouldn't be voting. But these same people, I mean, Charlie Kirk was right-wing. The people on the left, I think, like, 10 years ago, were trying to lower the voting age to 16. I mean, think about it. These people will say an 18-year-old is too young to marry somebody in their late 20s, but an 18-year-old is fully capable and fully functioning to vote for a 60-year-old politician into the office that's gonna just fuck up the country. An 18-year-old shouldn't be marrying somebody in their late 20s, but if they sleep around with a bunch of dudes that are in their late 20s and record it for their OnlyFans content, then it's okay, right? Again, I'm not saying that both are correct or wrong or whatever. I'm just saying we need to be consistent as a society. Like maybe, well, I don't want to support the adult film industry and the OnlyFans industry and the mind-altering substance industry, but let me get something straight. An 18-year-old can enlist in the army, grab a machine gun, and kill a bunch of people legally, but the same person would be seen as too immature to debate Charlie Kirk, too immature to marry whoever they want that's over the age of 18, regardless of the age gap, but mature enough to vote. I don't know, double standards can get pretty tricky. You know what I mean? Like, what comes with double standards also comes with mass generalization. Like, there might be a woman who's anti-abortion, pro-circumcision, and thinks both Lizzo and Rick Ross needs to put a shirt on or something. Or that one guy, that Andrew guy, maybe his wife did have a good reason for divorcing her 2 husbands. And maybe she doesn't fall into the categorization of divorced women that he was talking about. Who knows, man?